All right, let's jump right in. We're going to pull back the curtain on an office that's, well, absolutely essential for a country's financial health, but it often works way out of the spotlight. Today, we're talking about the Auditor-General of Pakistan, what they do, and the power they hold. Just think about it for a second. Governments are dealing with just staggering amounts of public money. Billions and billions for roads, schools, defense, you name it. But it begs the question, right? Who's double-checking the math? Who's making sure all that cash is actually going where it's supposed to? Well, in Pakistan, that's exactly where this office steps in. Honestly, the best way to picture the Auditor-General of Pakistan, or the AGP for short, is as the nation's top financial watchdog. It's their entire job to sniff out problems, make sure things are transparent, and basically keep a very close eye on the government's wallet. Now, there's an official name for this kind of organization, a Supreme Audit Institution, or SAI. And it's not just a Pakistan thing. Most countries have one. It's literally the highest body in the entire government responsible for auditing public funds. Its whole reason for being? Accountability. Okay, so if this watchdog is so powerful, where does it get its teeth? I mean, what gives it the authority to do its job? Well, it's not just some simple policy or a government rule. Oh no, it's way more powerful than that. The AGP's power is actually written right into the 1973 Constitution of Pakistan. And that is a huge deal. It means the office isn't just an afterthought. It's a core part of how the state is supposed to work, and it's specifically designed to be independent. And you can see just how seriously that independence is protected. Look at this. The Auditor General is appointed by the president. They take their oath in front of the Chief Justice, and here's the kicker, you can't just fire them. Getting rid of an Auditor General is just as difficult as removing a Supreme Court judge. This is all designed to create a shield so the office can do its job without political blowback, especially when its audits find things that might make some people uncomfortable. So political independence is one thing. That's great. But what about financial independence? I mean, think about it. If you're auditing the very same government that signs your paychecks, can you really be truly independent? Well, the Constitution has a pretty clever answer for that one too. Just to give you an idea of the scale here, our source data from 2018 puts the AGP's annual budget at over 4.4 billion rupees. That's a lot of money. But what's really important isn't the number itself, it's how that money gets approved. You see, the AGP's budget falls under a special category called charged expenditure, and this is a really fascinating constitutional tool. It means the budget doesn't go to Parliament for a vote. It's basically pre-approved. This is so important because it stops politicians from ever being able to threaten the AGP's funding if they're unhappy with an audit. It's one of the main things that guarantees their freedom to operate. All right, so we've got the constitutional theory down, we understand the protections, but what does a day in the life of this office actually look like? Let's switch gears from the theory and look at what they actually do. When you look at what they've been up to recently, you get a really vivid picture. This is way more than just crunching numbers in a back room. You've got them training up new civil servants, working with international groups like the IMF, getting reviewed by their counterparts in Saudi Arabia. They're even going fully digital. It's clear this is a really dynamic and busy place. An organization this critical obviously needs a leader at the helm. But here's where things got a little interesting. When we looked into who the current Auditor General is, we found that our source materials didn't quite agree. So check this out. The official website for the Auditor General of Pakistan lists a Mr. Maqbool Ahmad Gondal with a term starting in September of 2025. But then Wikipedia says the person in charge is Mohammed Ajmal Gondal and that his term started way back in 2021. Now, our role here is just to lay out what the source material says. And in this case, the sources point to two different answers. But look, regardless of any discrepancies, the actual function of this office is what's truly vital. So let's zoom out and connect the dots. Let's talk about why the work the Auditor General does isn't just some bureaucratic thing. It actually matters to every single person in the country. It all comes down to what you could call the accountability chain. It works like this. The AGP audits the government. Simple enough. But then, and this is key, their reports don't get buried. They're sent to these really powerful public accounts committees. That process forces government spending out into the open, creating transparency. And when you shine a bright light on where the money is going, you naturally start to cut down on waste, inefficiency, and even fraud. Because really, that's the end game here. The goal isn't just about playing gotcha and finding mistakes after the fact. It's about building a whole culture of financial discipline. It's about making sure strong internal controls are just the normal way of doing business across the entire government. It's about being proactive, not just reactive. And what's really cool is that the office itself seems to know that the public plays a part in this. I mean, this quote from their own website is basically an open invitation. Dear citizens, we value your input. They're saying that real, lasting accountability isn't a one-way street. It needs people to be paying attention. So we'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. Doesn't matter if you're in Pakistan or anywhere else, really. An office like this, a supreme audit institution, is absolutely fundamental to good government. So do you know who's watching your country's wallet? Because finding out who they are and what they do, well, that's a pretty powerful first step for anyone who cares where their tax money goes. Thanks so much for tuning in.